Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Alan Deal Jr. Thank you for joining the Addict-to-Athlete Podcast. Yeah, we got a special today. We're just talking about my daily nutrition and what it does, and how I stay disciplined in the kitchen. But I hope everybody had a good week. I know we got hit by hail again in Kerrville, and it was just oh man, 5 times now. Um, in this area since March 23rd. So I'm just like super busy at work, and that's another blessing that God brought to me was my job. He gave me my job back. But for those of you who are just tuning in, again, my name's Alan Deal Jr. and I am a recovered addict. And God basically had brought me back from the depths of hell, literally. I've survived my addiction. I've overcome through Him. I've overcome several overdoses. Um, I've also had liver and kidney failure, cancer twice, been homeless, been to prison, and I come back really strong, and I fight, and I'm doing that right now. I'm fighting every single day, striving to set goals and achieve them. And I had to come up with a new list this week, of goals I want to attain and achieve. And it's like, as soon as I write them down, I go for it, and I go full force with it. And that's kind of like what my addiction has done. When I was in my addiction, I did everything I could to get high or drunk, and I put that type of energy into, uh, you know, my fitness and my work and my recovery and my relationship with God. And I basically just changed my whole outlook. And I got that psychic change, I guess you can say. And I'm loving it, man. I'm loving every single bit of it. And I owe every single part of it to Jesus Christ, man. I mean, without Him, I would be dead right now, and I wouldn't even be talking to you on this platform at all. So, I feel like God gave me health and fitness, to overcome my addiction. It was something for me that I can do that that's in a positive manner, that actually just, and a big part of that health journey and that fitness journey is because I never took care of my body ever. Like, I mean, maybe in high school I tried a little bit, maybe a little after high school, but once I started getting into drugs and alcohol, my body was the last thing I cared about. And now, I work really, really hard, and I love it. I love every single bit of it. And you can call it an addiction, I don't care, but it's a healthy one, and I try to maintain that in all aspects of my life now, especially in the kitchen, okay? Because that's a huge part of my journey, right? Like, I mean, I would say that's one of the most important parts of my fitness. My fitness journey is how to stay disciplined in the kitchen. And I basically take what I did in addiction, and I move it over into another area, right? Like for instance, if I'm craving something, I don't want to put it in my body, because then I'm going to start craving it. Okay. And it's the same with alcohol and drugs. If I put it in I used alcohol and drugs because I like the effects produced by it, right? Like, I like the way it changed the way I felt. And I don't need to do that anymore. I don't need to change the way I feel. I feel amazing. And waking up every day and giving glory to God for everything He's done in my life is just amazing. And so yeah, it's one of those things that, and in a minute we'll go by like what I do when I first wake up, and like how I maintain this discipline, and how I focus. And I'm a busybody, man. I have to find time, and the time management is one of the things that I struggle with, because I'm so busy and I'm always go, 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 go. I honestly don't even have time to drink or do drugs right now, even if I wanted to. I would say since I've been out of prison on December 23rd of last year, I've maybe had like a couple of thoughts about using. I mean, I'm an addict. I'm gonna, that's gonna happen, but they're not obsessions, and I'm able to go to God right away and say, hey, remove this thought, like, or I look at myself internally and say, okay, what's going on right now? There's something going on that, is not right internally with me. And, I just have to figure that out. So one of the things that, I do when I first get up in the morning, is I drink 8 ounces of water, because I haven't had water in a minute, and while the coffee's brewing, I basically spend like my first like 5 to 10 minutes just meditating or praying and asking him to be there with me during the day. And I still have bad days, don't get me wrong, like all this good stuff is happening in my life. And the other day, I found out that I beat my record as a collision estimator for the second month in a row. And like, I mean, I couldn't be more blessed that God has put me at the right place, in his time. And it was just super blessing. But, the next morning I get up and it was one of those days where I didn't know what was going on. I mean, everything that happened was getting on my nerves. Like I was struggling with some anger for no reason. Like I had a little bit of anxiety going on. And when I have a little bit of anxiety, it's actually a lot for me, because I normally don't struggle with it. Especially lately, I've been trusting God completely. And like this morning though, or that morning, I didn't even feel like going to God. Like I was I was in that kind of a spot, and sometimes it gets like that, where I just don't want to, I don't even feel like praying, but I know that's when I need to do it most, so I got to work and I don't think I said a word for like the first 30 minutes. And I was like, even my coworkers were like, hey, are you all right? You're not your bubbly self. And I was like, I don't know what's going on, but I just don't feel right, and I wasn't even thinking about drugs or alcohol. It was just one of those days where you wake up and it's like, all these good. And so I tried to do I took some time. I spent some time with God. I prayed. It didn't go away right away, but it eventually did. And as the day went on, it got way better. And I started thinking about, all the things I do have, and thanking God for that, and asking him to take those, that feeling away from me. But once I get done, spending that time with God in the morning, I take my vitamin, as I get dressed for work, I take my vitamins, and I take a lot of vitamins, probably like 12 to 14 different vitamins. Also with the multivitamin, I do microfactor from First Form. So there's like 7 pills in the packet, and it's 1 pack a day. And so I probably take over like 20 something vitamins, in the morning. And sometimes I change some. Some are for my brain. Some for my liver. Some are for my like for immune system. Um, B complex, B6. I take a whole lot. Fish oil for sure. And I can get you a list of all the vitamins if anybody's interested. And I do have the comments up now, so if anybody wants to make comments, I can see them and interact with you guys. Also, there is a once I get that done, once I take my vitamins and stuff, I usually make a level 1 protein drink, which is First Form as well. It's like a meal replacement. I use the salted peanut butter right now. It's my favorite flavor. But I also have the blueberry one. I do the blueberry one sometimes in the morning, just depends on how I'm feeling. But I do a scoop of that, and obviously we'll talk about the First Form app too, because that helps me keep track of these things as well. But I take the shake, and then I might eat some eggs, like some hard-boiled eggs, some Ezekiel bread maybe. Just depends on what I'm feeling in the morning. I also, if I'm running like, behind, I have some of those Jimmy Dean Delight sandwiches that are like 20 grams of protein, and they're pretty low in fat. If you get the muffin one, I think they're less than 10 grams in fat and 22 grams of protein or something like that. I'll eat one of those maybe one time. And Fridays I do eat tacos. That's like my cheat meal for the week, breakfast wise. But usually I start out with that, and that's already like I'm upwards into like 40 to 45 grams of protein before I even leave the house. And then once I get to work, I might like around 10, I might have like a banana and some peanut butter. It depends. If I'm trying to keep my fat below 50 grams in the day, then I might hold off on the peanut butter, even though it gives me some really good protein. It is kind of high in fat, especially if you eat as much as I do. But I'll do like a peanut butter and banana, or I'll eat a protein pizza from Lean Cuisine, which is only like 9 grams, or 6 grams of fat, 22 grams of protein. And I'll do like one of those, and then at lunch, I usually, if I can meal prep, I'll do like, uh, grilled chicken or fish. Like I get the packets, like the frozen ones. And I've learned if you cook them in the air fryer, it actually goes a lot faster. So if I have time, during the weekend, I'll meal prep some chicken breast or some fish, and I will eat it with some brown rice, and I'll mix it up, put some sriracha on there to kind of spice it up a little bit, and I'll do that. That's upwards to 20 to 25 grams of protein. I use the First Form app. I don't use it as much as I used to because I'm so used to my intake now, and I kind of know in my head like exactly what I'm eating and where I'm at already. But if I eat some new stuff, I'll definitely use it. It tracks everything for me. I think I'm up to like 3,000 calories a day right now, 200 to 220 grams of protein a day. My carbs are pretty low. So, I mean, they're like 350, 353. I'm around there with the carbs. And yeah, my fat, I try to keep it under 50 grams. And it's hard, some days, a lot of the days I don't do that. It's more like 70, but that's okay as much as I work out. If I'm trying to gain like a lot of muscle, then I don't mind having more fat in my diet. But if I'm cutting and I'm trying to lean out, I stay low in the fat, like 50 or less. I mean, almost everything has fat in it, so it's really hard. And I eat like 5 meals a day, so that means like, well, at least 5, sometimes 6, and that means I got to have less than 10 grams of fat per meal if I'm trying to stay under 60. So it's pretty rough, but once you get used to it, it's really easy. Like, I don't even, it's funny because every Friday, everybody at work brings donuts, and I hardly ever eat them, but I don't know why I have such a hard time with the blueberry glazed donut. Like if I see it laying over there, I just walk by it. Like every time I walk by it, I'm like, and then I'm like, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Because I know, if I do eat it, I'm going to be craving sugar like the rest of the day. And I try not to have any sugar at all, unless it's before a workout or after a workout. It's very important after a workout, to have some type of sugar. I try fructose sugar because, your blood sugar will drop when you have a pump or you're working out really hard. So I try to, it's important for the first 15 minutes after a workout. So you want to raise that so that you get the protein synthesis that your body needs. But, yeah, I try to do 5 or 6 meals a day, and even the guys at my house, they're always like, man, how do you just constantly eat like that? And I'm like, well, I've been doing it for a while, since when I got out of prison, I had basically lost all my muscle while I was there. It's really hard to eat correctly, and it was just one of those things I struggled with while I was there. And And so when I got out, I didn't even want to take a picture of myself. And I wish I would have now, because I already knew it wasn't going to take me long to get back into shape once I got out. I really wish I would have taken a before picture. But I was so ashamed of myself because I'm so used to looking fit, and I didn't even want to look at myself, and now I kind of regret it, because I didn't even want to do the body fat index at Anytime Fitness either. It's a free service that they offer once a month. And I didn't even want to do that because I was completely embarrassed of what my body fat index was while I was in there. And now I think I'm like under 10 or close to it. My goal is like 8. I'm probably like 10 or 11 maybe, from past experience and just knowing my body. I still got some trying to fix the elasticity in my skin a little bit, from where I had the fat. It's a struggle because I do live in a sober home, and there's no bathtub, so you can't take Epsom salt baths to like help your elasticity in your skin. So that's one thing when I competed, that it always helped me tighten up, was these Epsom salt baths. So can't really do that. So I got to do it in the kitchen, and I've heard people say, abs are visible because of the kitchen. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I've been working my abs out a lot, and I did that. That's like one of the things I did most in prison, but I could feel them there, I just couldn't see them when I got out. And now they're right where I want. Well, they're definitely where I want them to be right now. And they're getting better every day. And that's because of my diet mostly. I mean, I do work them out quite a bit. Every day I do about 3 different exercises for abs. I'll do pull-ups and lift my legs up, and I'll do like 3 sets of 12 of those. Sometimes if I'm feeling it, I'll tie the chain around me with some weight, add some weight and do it. But then I do the rope pull downs, and that really focuses on the upper part of my abs, which are really on point right now. And then I will do the roller wheel, which basically will do your whole core area. And I try to do about like 3 sets of 20 of those when I do that at the end of every gym session. It's like the last thing I do. I might do the pull-ups at the beginning, but I'll do the leg lifts and the pull-ups in the beginning, and then the roller wheel and the rope pull down, at the end. But in prison, I all you could do is, put your hands on your bunk and lift up your legs. And I worked my core out the whole time I was in there. But I, the hardest part about having discipline in the kitchen for me in the past was just getting it started. It's a change of lifestyle. You're so used to eating a certain way, and then you stop it and your body just goes into shock. Like you're craving all this stuff. And, it's just like when you're in addiction, you try to quit drugs and alcohol. Your body's so used to having it, you get to the point where you need it. You may not even want to do it anymore, but you just need it physically so that you feel better. And I know a lot of people eat when they're stressed out too. It's like comfort stuff, it kind of comforts you and does things like that, and I would suggest, trying to find something else that comforts you, to stay busy, when I'm bored, and it's rare that I get that way because I'm go all day long, so, and then by the time I get home, which is like right before I'm, like 11 o'clock, because I've been at the gym, then I go have a post-workout meal at a restaurant, and then I go home and I sleep and take a shower, sleep. And then I have a nighttime protein drink too, the meal replacement level 1. And so, yeah, I work, I'll have at least 3 meals. And then I try to have one like around 5 o'clock because I usually go work out around 6:30. That way it's already kind of settled. and then I hit the gym hard. And most of the time, it's for like 2.5 hours, 2.5 hours. And I'm probably working out probably like an hour and a half to 2 hours. I'm probably with phone time and or making videos or something like that. I'm probably like on it about 30 minutes in between sets or whatnot. So yeah, that's one of the things that so once I hit that gym session, whether I'm working, and one day I'll do like back, shoulders, biceps, and then I'll do like chest and tris the next day, and then I try to throw legs in there like one day a week or two, in between. But I don't really work my legs a whole lot. I naturally have decent leg muscles and calf muscles. I really don't work them out too much. I probably should a little more, but with my physique, I don't want the large legs. That's just not for me. As long as they're not skinny, I'm good. So that's kind of why I focus more on the upper body and the core area. But I've really tried to concentrate at the gym on my chest more this time than I ever have. And I definitely think it's paying off. Like my chest has never been great. And I mean, it's been good, but it's never been like one of the things that just get big real quick for me. My shoulders is what gets really big really fast. And I mean, I don't know why. My shoulders have always done that. When I start working out, my shoulders just get like softballs, which is cool. I like it, but I don't want them too big, because I'm more of a physique guy, not a bodybuilder, but not a power lifter. But once I get, done at the gym, I usually go to a restaurant and I try to maintain that diet there at the restaurant too, whether it's grilled chicken, fish, sushi, greens. I try to stick with the vegetables too, or if I get rice, it's like brown rice. And I try to stick with that. And then once I'm done at the restaurant, I basically, I go home, wind down, or I go to a meeting, one or the other. I got to find time for meetings. I attend probably 4 a week. So I got to keep that in my regimen, because if I don't have my recovery, in my relationship with God, it won't be long before I'm not sober anymore, and I lose everything that I've gained, that God's given me back. I've done that a million times, so I'm doing everything I can right now to prevent that, and it's working. Whatever I'm doing has just been simply amazing. God removed the obsession for me to use drugs and alcohol. Even when things go bad, it's not an obsession anymore, and it's just amazing to be able to live my life and not have to worry about it. I've worried about it so much for my entire adult life. To have that removed from me is definitely a power outside. It's greater than myself did that. Greater than this world. So it's definitely a spiritual experience. The fact that I don't obsess over it anymore, and I kind of moved that focus, over to my diet and my training, and things are just happening, man. I'm back with Move now, and so I'm going to be doing some fitness modeling for Move. It's really cool. I didn't think I was going to be able to get back with them. One of my goals on my list is to get back with Young LA. A lot. They've grown so big since I've been in prison, though. They got nothing but like professional athletes and ex Mr. Olympias. They got YouTube stars and just you name it. They got all these famous people now, and it's going to be really difficult to get back with them. But I never say never, and I'm the type of guy that sets my mind to something and I go for it full flight. Just like when I was in my addiction, I would do anything I could to get high or drunk, and I moved that into motivation for me. It's like it's almost like some people expect me to mess up, and that's cool. I get it, because history shows that's what I do. That's what I have done. And that's just fueling me right now, and I'm using that as a positive thing. Like, I'm not going to let it happen. I'm going to do everything I can to keep my relationship, keep my focus on God, because I've done that this whole time, and it's just brought so many blessings to me. And when I didn't even expect it, so just got to keep that focus on God, and keep, the negativity out of my head. Like, I a lot of the times, I get in my head, and I'm creating these scenarios that like haven't even happened yet. And it may not even happen at all, like there's just something in my head that I'm like, oh, this is, and I have to like take a step back and say, you know what, like, we don't even know if this is going to go down like that. Like, why don't we give this to God and let him do it, let him figure it out for me. And sometimes it's really difficult to do that when you're not used to doing it. There's some things that I do really well, like, that I try to hold on to sometimes, like, I don't need to give it to God, that kind of thing. My discipline in the kitchen is one of the things that I pray that I get, he helps me maintain, just like my discipline to my recovery right now, my discipline to my work, and, how hard I've been working at everything that I set my mind to right now. I give it to God, because there are things that I do well sometimes, and I just want to like handle it myself. And, history shows when I try to do that, at some point, it fails on me, and I'm not trying to do that anymore. But yeah, and so, maintaining that, my, the First Form app has always helped me get back, on my game. And for those of you who, I don't know if you saw my post, but if you share this podcast, it'll let me know who shares it on their feed. I'll enter you into a live drawing that'll be done next week when I go live, and it'll select one winner that has shared the podcast, and you'll get a free month on the First Form app. And anybody that I know that has ever used it has kept it, because it's just done wonders for them. It's an amazing tool. It gives you all kinds of insights. It's just one of the best things and it evolves like every day. It changes. They have online coaching. They have nutrition videos. They got stuff that, it's just an amazing app. And I left it in the show description, the link for the First Form app, if you want to kind of look into it and see what it's about. I also have the links to the supplements there too. You can just go to firstform.com, Alan Deal / Alan Deal Jr. And, it'll take you, discounts already embedded in the code. So you can just go there, search around, look. It also works for apparel as well. And they're the best products I've ever used. I've been with Bucked Up. I've been with, 4 or 5 different protein supplement companies. And First Forms just stands out the most of the highest quality protein that I've ever taken, and supplements. They spend a lot of money on research every year and for these products. So that helps me stay disciplined in the kitchen too, because it tracks everything I do. I eat one of those lean cuisine protein meals. I just scan the barcode and it inputs all the macros in the app, and it tracks it, and it tells you like how close you are to your goal. It's really neat, but it's always helped me when I try to, I feel like I'm getting off my game, I did have a cheat meal, however, the other night, and I call it a cheat meal, but it was for me. And it was like a grilled chicken sandwich. I try not to eat any kind of bread. I don't know why. I just don't want it. Even if it's wheat bread. I mean, if I eat bread, it's like Ezekiel bread. And that's really the only bread that I don't have a problem eating. if I eat like a sandwich, like today at work, we got bump doodlers here in Carville, and I got wheat bread, and I'm okay with that. I knew I wasn't going to the gym today because of the podcast, so I can eat like that every once in a while, but that's like a cheat meal for me when I add some bread in there, which is kind of crazy, but that's just the way I think about this situation. I try not to have any kind of sweets in my diet. And so, yeah, and it totally, you can tell, like, it's almost like when I'm feeding my body this great food, the meat, the chicken, or the fish, it's like at a point where I can almost feel it, like the energy just working in my body, like putting the food in the right place and my body doing its job. It's just a great feeling, and I hate the feeling when I eat something and I feel like if I have a cheat meal, I don't like doing it, because I'm not saying you can't do it. Okay. Just, I can't do it because I feel like crap, the rest of the day, it's like, ugh, it's just like one of those things I just don't want to be involved with. Why feel that way if I don't have to, and what I do eat during the day is really good. I mean, all the healthy stuff I eat it tastes good. I'll change the flavors up on the chicken, lemon pepper one day, or on the fish, and I just change up my seasonings, and it's not like I'm eating the same thing every day. I spice it up a lot. So, that's something to try out, so you don't feel like you're eating the same things every day. The one thing that a lot of people struggle with is snacks at night, and I'd be lying to you if I didn't get up in the middle of the night sometimes to go to the restroom, and I'm just craving sugar because I ain't had it, and why in the nighttime, it gets like that for people. I'm not a doctor or a scientist. I don't really know why the cravings are so, strong at night. But what helps me with that is drinking that meal replacement protein drink. And I get like a dessert flavor. And I've said this to y'all before. It helps my cravings, like the salted peanut butter one is my favorite. I'll drink that before I go, to bed. And it's like, I'm satisfied. Boom, go to sleep, wake up in the morning. I'm great. Sometimes I wake up like extremely hungry because I eat so much during the day. Well, so many meals a day. They may not be big, but they're, I wake up just so hungry. So I try to drink that meal replacement protein first thing in the morning, and it definitely helps get me off where I'm not like urging for some breakfast tacos or something like that. Every once in a while, like I said, I'll have breakfast tacos on Friday mornings, and I love them. It's great, and yeah, I just don't do it every day, and that's because of my discipline, in the kitchen, and I try to maintain that. I also, I try to drink a lot of water. It makes me go to the bathroom a lot, but like I try to drink a lot of water during the day, especially if I'm at work. And that's one thing I never really did, very well, was drink a lot of water. So, I feel like my body's just way better off when I have more water in it. So, and the First Form app also has a tracker for that too, to see how many ounces you're drinking per day. And so it's really neat. It also has workout programs for you. And the coolest thing about the app, and not only does it help you with your discipline in the kitchen, and maintaining those like macros during your throughout your day, it helps with like, so say you want to lose 15 pounds, right? You put in your height, your weight, and and your age, and it tells you, okay, what are you trying to do? And are you trying to lose weight, gain muscle, whatever? You put it in the app. Okay, what's your ideal weight? You put that. And then it generates an 8-week program for you that tells you this is how many calories, this is how many carbs, this is how many fats, and this is how much protein you need to intake a day for you to achieve that in 8-week period. And they have what they call at First Form the 8-week challenge. And so when you start on the app, you take a before picture, nobody else sees it but you, and then you start your journey. And like I said, anybody I've ever taken through the app when I was an advisor, an online coach, uh, everybody loved it and everybody saw amazing results. So if you're struggling with, needing something to like help you get back into it or help you get into it for the first time, it's an amazing app, and nobody at First Form is judgmental about anything. So if you're embarrassed, or you feel like you don't want to go to the gym because of the way you look, it's in your head mostly, because um, I, I had the same feeling, and it was really all in my head. But that's what drives me, that's what drove me. I try to take it the other way. Instead of me being embarrassed going to the gym, I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to show these people how fast it can take me to lose this weight and gain muscle again. Um, that's kind of what drives me. Like, I'm going to show these people that I can stay sober. I'm going to prove everybody wrong. And that mentality, it's almost like, oh, you think everybody's out to get you. No, that's not what I'm doing. It's just the way that I process it in my mind so that it drives me, and it's working. I got my job back, and I'm killing it, man. Like, God's blessed me, like I said, with the right place, right time. And it's just been awesome. And I'm taking full advantage of it. Like, every second I'm there, I'm working hard as I can work. Um, and uh, and I'm not just doing that in the gym. I'm doing it at work. I'm doing it in my recovery, with my relationship with God. And like I said last week, I'm trying not to lie to anybody, because it's like one thing that I struggled with in the past, and it's really helped me stay focused and not get into that like downhill snowball, where you tell one lie and another lie. And sometimes, I was lying, I didn't even, so just every aspect of my life has changed, and it's really amazing. And the most important, besides the relationship with God and it growing every day, is, the relationship I have with my kids now. Yeah, it's amazing. And I hope that, I can be that dad that, they look up to now. And that drives my fuel and my fire. And like I said last week, I got this like, burning desire, like this, it's just like fuel, like something inside of me just wants to slay everything that's set in front of me right now. And it's just an amazing feeling. And whether it's, the discipline in the kitchen or work or whatnot, but yeah, so I try to tie in, from what made me an addict, the mentality that I had when I was in my addiction. I turned it positive into something that turned me into an athlete, and a sponsored athlete. And that was God that gave me health and fitness, in order for me to do that. And it's just been simply amazing journey, and I'm so happy with it, and blessed, and just so happy everybody support in this whole situation. It's been amazing, and it's been an awesome journey, and it's just beginning. um, I got this list of goals I just wrote down, and I'm still writing some down. And I'm not going to sell myself short this time. All those goals I wrote down, I've hit every single one of them. Like I said last week, there's one that I haven't completed yet, but it's not the right time. That will come in the future. There's another chapter to be written, and so that one's not going to be done yet. But everything else has been awesome, man. So, guys, like, if you have any questions or you want to hit me up, anything about nutrition or any kind of tips that help me, what's good for me may not be good for you. That's the thing. You got to figure out what your body, takes, what it's good, what works with it. And then you gotta figure it out in your head. Like, okay. And see, once you start seeing the results, I mean, it's an incentive in itself. It's a drive to keep you going. And that's an amazing feeling when you start seeing those results. And every day, I try to work on something better than I did the day before. Um, and to, even if it's 1% better, I want to do better. And that's another thing that's helped me out with my drive and my discipline. But yeah, if you have any questions, you can hit me up on any social media outlet, and I got your back as always. It's been a great week, minus that one day, but God pulled me out of it, like He always does. And sometimes it's real easy to go to God when things are going bad, but when they're going good, it's even harder for me to maintain that. But I've been working really hard at that too, to maintain my relationship and to make sure it grows every single day, and just keep my focus on Him, and just let my heart follow, let Him guide my heart to making decisions, even if I don't feel like they might be the right ones at the time. It's been paying off for me, and it's just an amazing feeling. But yeah, I appreciate everybody who's all your support. For those of you who are joining us for the first time, thank you. Please share this to anybody. Like I said, you'll be entered in the drawing for a free month on the First Form app next week. We'll do it live. I know kind of how to do it. Ada kind of showed me how to do the raffle thing online, where I can bring it on camera and hit the button, and it pulls all the names that shared it. So if you share it, like I said, you'll get thrown in there. I'll figure out how to pull it up, since I'm doing this by myself now. It looks like I was able to go to Instagram live today, which is cool. But it does look like I wasn't able to get my personal Facebook page on live. I'll just have to, mess with that and try to figure out how to get that done. So it's been great. I really appreciate it, guys. Addict-to-Athlete here, signing out from Kerrville. Remember, before you go to bed tonight, think about the things you do have, and not the things you don't. And thank God for the things that you do. All right. Peace out.